Tamil Nadu Open University, Chennai 15. Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Semester 1, SED 11X, Human Growth and Development, Audiobook 1. Block 1, Unit 5, Domains of Development. Objectives. After going through this unit, you will be able to describe major domains of human development, comprehend and interrelation of domains of human development. There are 5 domains of human development. There are follows. Physical development. Physical growth refers to process which begins about broadly and psychological changes internal as well as external in an organism from the conception till his death. General patterns of physical growth, increases in heights and weights, changes in body proportions. A newborn baby has body length of 16 to 18 inches and weight 6 to 8 pounds. Baby boy weighs more than the girls. Generally, growth is rapid and the heads are increased disproportionate in size. Weight increases by 100% in the first 6 months and up to the 5 years, an average of 4 inches per year in the first 4 years. At the age of 5, a child will be able to 35 inches to 40 inches tall and weight 30 to 35 pounds. Of course, girls will be shorter and lighter. At the age of 3, the lungs and heart grow in size, bigger muscles develop faster and cannot be found below 3 years of age. In later age, the rate of physical growth is slow and steadily. Children between 6 and 12 years put on 3 to 4 pounds. The increases in the height between 9 to 12 years is only 1 inches per year. The lightening of the limb is the significant physical changes during this phase. The legs grow very fast. Postural defects are likely to disappear at this stage. The heart and the lungs reaches almost growth, muscular development and coordination improve, and by the age of 6 and children has considerable mastery over the basic skill, but the eye muscles reaches full growth only by 9 years. Therefore, children should not be given long reading sessions up to this age. By 11 years of the age, the muscular coordination is almost perfect and the child may improve in coordination and handwriting manipulatory skills. In adolescence, physical growth is remarkably rapid and bodily changes occurs in a fantastic way. Children rapidly grow out of their clothes, a problem for parents. The endocrine glands became very active and secondary sexual characteristics became pronounced. Boys reaches the masculine stature, the voice breaks and became hoarse. Between 12 and 14 girls may grow faster than boys. Boys grow faster from 14. Boys develop big muscles and need hard physical work. Girls reach puberty and experience a rounding of the figure unique to women. Because the rate of growth at this period is too much, muscular coordination is very poor. Adolescents, as a rule, are clumsy and awkward in their words. There is no worse nuisance than a boy at the age of 14. He is neither ornamental nor useful. Then he is at the attractive growing age. He grows out of his clothes with innocent haste. His voice grows hoarse and breaks quivers, and his face grows suddenly angular and unsightly. Cognitive development. Trying to teach a child that which is actual, too advanced, or too difficult for him does not result in a better educated child. In fact, it is likely to harm him emotionally. One of the indexes to growth of intelligence is the point of in vocabulary, which has of two phases, words used and words correctly recognized. Increase in vocabulary in general is characteristics of mental growth and reaches its high point in the 20s, although it is possible that vocabulary ability increases slightly throughout most of adult life. Another index to the development of intelligence is the development of thinking through the stage of enumerations, description, and interpretations. The teacher should be conscious of these stages and in teaching should try to stimulate to indicate increasing power of perception, memory, imagination, and reasoning of problem solving. A person has mental ability of learning readiness for task when he has grown and developed to a level where he has the potential and the capacity to learn this task readily. Generally, mental growth is most rapid into first 5 years of life, nearly as rapid from age 5 to 10 years, less so from 10 to 15, and much less so from 15 to 20. Natural mental growth probably stops at about the age of 20. Bright children develop much faster than dull children. They reach a much higher level at maturity. The bright children probably develop over a little longer period than the dull. Vocabulary development depends on environment. A happy home and nursery school condition may be helpful in the proper mental development during this period. In later childhood, mentally a child at 6 years of age is ready to go to school. Its brain has reached 80% of its total development. A child at 6 can from form a simple concepts and the child envies a keen interest in reading and writing, but it cannot attend to any session have to be avoided. But the ability to read and write improves consequently by the age 9 to 12 years. It is the period when children are eager to learn and consequently pleasure learning experiences have to be provided to sustain the motivation. It is the period when the children origin of interest within their curiosity reaches maximum development. They like to explore they find out themselves the nature of things. Children between 6 and 7 years of age include in make believe concepts. They become realistic between 9 to 12 years of age. Between 6 and 7 years of age, a child's self concept does not appear and it identifies itself with its superior. By 12 years, a child is able to express clearly its feelings and experiences. Adolescence is a period of rapid mental development, ability to form concepts mature. He is able to generalize his experiences, abstract concepts are formed and understood. Numerical ability reaches significant growth. The adolescent is capable of doing abstract reasoning. Consequently, he likes debates and discussion and cannot take anything for granted. Therefore, he is seen to argue with the elder, a tendency that may be labeled impertinence and impudence. The vague and diffuse interest of childhood gets distilled into concentrated and specific interest during adolescence. Boys like to read stories of privations and adventure, and girls read stories of home life, love, and beauty. And interest in fine arts, it's common in many adolescents and so also in sports and games. Many adolescents are daydreamers. Normal and occasional daydreaming is essential to let out pent up emotions. But if it is amount of withdrawal, it becomes dangerous. Emotional development. Emotions are complex and diffuse mental experiences involving body and mind. To become emotional means to get excited, activated, and stirred up. According to J.B. Watson, the primal emotion in babies are three: anger, fear, and love. According to Bridges, the only emotional reaction of a neonate is generalized excitement. By 3 months, the excitement changes into distress and delight. By 6 months, distress partly split into specific emotion, fear, disgust, and anger. By 13 months, delight pa- partly gives rise to education and affection. By 18 months, distress further gives rise to jealous and affection become specific as affection for adult and affection for children. By 24 months, in addition to above, fear, disgust, anger, jealous, distress, excitement, delight, relations, affection for adult, affection for children, and joy emerge out the delight. Up to the age of 1 year, all emotions are connected with the infant basic biological needs. When the infant movements are restricted, it becomes angry. Love is happiness for the infant. It like to be fondled. By 4 or 5 years, the child acquires many emotions as a result of its interaction with people and matter. A liking for a group life appears at the age of 6. It is the gregarious instinct set and paves way for the socialization for the child. The child learns to control its primal emotions as the instincts of curiosity, constructions, and acquisition develop during 6 to 12 years of age. The accompanying emotions are also seen. The instincts of self abasement may lead to an unconditional surrender to parent and teachers may made possible by the mechanism of identification. In general, this period is one of consolidation and children do not experience any emotional calamity that would be normally experienced during adolescence. Adolescence marks a period of emotional inability and imbalance. A sudden change from great elations to total disjection may be seen in adolescent behavior. The self from great elations to total dejection may be seen in adolescent period. The self assertive instinct and the sex instincts reach maximum development. Adolescent craves for recognition and love. They want to be consulted if their opinion are not taken into account in deciding policies either at home or at school. The gregarious instinct fully developed and peer group influence of them became great. The alliterations impulse became dominant. The period of early adolescence, 13 to 15 years, is more troublesome than late adolescence, 16 to 19. In the world, there is no worse nuisance than a boy at the age of 14. If he talks with childish lips, he is called a baby, and if in a grown up, he is called impertinent. In fact, talk at any kind of he resistant. He becomes painfully self conscious, and when he talks with elderly people, he is either unduly forward or else so unduly shy that he appears ashamed of his existence. He becomes the devoted slave of anyone who shows him consideration. While it is the height of his bliss to receive the kind looks of women and never suffer their sight. Social development. Social growth helps in improving one's personal relationship in learning and how one gets along with people successful. Physical and mental growth contribute social development, which is giving a person more capacity for dealing effectively with the social situation. Physical and mental Weaknesses and defects tend to maladjustment a person. A child is very individualist in early childhood, but living with people socializes him so that he works from extreme individualism to being a socialized person, leadership in an evidence of social maturity. Students who are social leader tend to be a characteristics by better scholarship, higher extracurricular activities, intelligence, more attractive physics, good word habits, success, and higher socio-economic status. Home and school environment can be make a child feel frustrated, resentful, over dependent, inferior, and insecure in many ways of the opposite. In school, children are accepted to rejected by others. Sociometric methods may be used to determine the social acceptance and rejection of children within a age group or class. Persons are socially matured who can make friends, who are leader, who have good emotional control, who cooperate with others, who become emotionally, economically and socially independent, who have wholesome and recreational interests, who maintain high moral standards, who have good member and who get along with a member of the opposite sex. A neonate is no better than an animal, is being totally self centered. If wanted its biological needs to be satisfied, its mother is the first human being who moves closely with it, and by 3 months, the baby begins to have a liking for his mother. Then, as it is grow, it learn to smile at familiar person and cry at the sight of stranger. By 3 years of age, the child is selfish to the extent that wants to play alone and never gives anything to others. By the age of 3 or 5, children may play with the other children, but they may quarrel suddenly and part. Home environment at this period decides socialization. The treatment given to them by the members of the family decides their social nature. Only child is likely to become egocentric. Later childhood is the period when children become less self-centered. School life usually commences at 6 and school is a patented socialization agency. The child gets injured to unavoidable rubs and uncertain rep- reception it may be get in a later life. In a classroom, it cannot have its own way. There are other children and teachers too. It learned to adjust gang spirit and blossom at 6 years of age. The child learned to obey commands. It is a time when friendships are made. They depend on their parents and crowds for peer approval. The tendency to be in the peer group, which originated during later childhood, became pronounced during adolescence. Though boys and girls continued to be in the same group, interest in the opposite sex grew steadily. Some adolescents show withdrawal mechanism, which is a defined symptom of maladjustment and abnormality. Adolescents want to be recognized as an adult. The adolescent craving for recognizing and independence are very great. They like to be economically independent. Conflict with adults, especially parents and teachers, are quite common. This is a period when enduring friendships are formed. Moral development. The term moral development derived from Latin word mores means manners. Customs and folk ways. Morality is indissociable linked with the social system. The child has learned what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. He also has to learn his duty. All these terms clearly shows the moral value has reference to social relationship and social process. According to Piaget, there are 4 stages. Anomy. Piaget called this first stage anomy, the stage without the law. At this stage, the behavior of the child is neither normal or abnormal, but non-normal or moral. His behavior is not guided by moral standards. The regulator of the behavior are pain and pleasure. This is the discipline of natural consequences as advocated by Rousseau. Heteronomy, discipline of authority. The second stage of moral development may be called the discipline of artificial consequences imposed by adult. Moral development at this stage is controlled by external authority. Reward and punishment regulate moral development. Heteronomy, discipline or reciprocity. At this third stage, there is the morality of cooperation with peers or equals. This stage is regulated by reciprocity, which implies we should not do to others what will be offensive to us. Conformity with the group became imperative. Autonomy. Adolescent, Piaget called this stage equally stage also. The individual at this stage is fully responsible for his behavior. The rules governing moral behavior come from within the individual. Such autonomy is the ideal of moral development. Check your progress. Note, write your answer in the page given below. B. Compare your answer with the one given at the end of the unit. Question 10. What are the 5 dimensions of human development? Let us sum up. Human development is a process that continues throughout our lives. This unit has taken a look at this progression of human development from infancy to late adulthood with all the stage in between. The prenatal stage is the period from conception to birth. The period is divided into 3 substages. There are the period of ovum, period of embryo, and the period of fetus. The postnatal life begins at birth and ends at death. The phases of postnatal period are infancy, early and late childhood, adolescent, adulthood, and old age. Infancy is the period from 0 to 2 years. The early childhood period is between 3 to 6 years, which is a remarkable period of physical and psychological developments. The stages of late childhood starts from 7 to goes on till the 12 years. Adolescent period follows late childhood and extends from the age of 13 to 19. Adulthood is the longest period of the lifespan, ranging from 20 to 60 years. Old age is considered as the final stage of the normal lifespan that usually begins at the age of 60. Growth refers to quantitative increases in size and structure of the body, whereas development refers to qualitative and quantitative changes. Human development is governed by certain principles. Knowledge of the principles of the growth and development help us to understand children better. Human development constitutes the development of different areas such as physical, motor, language and speech, emotional, social and cognitive development. Heredity is the biological process through which the transmission of physical and social characteristics takes place from parent to offsprings. Environment refers to all the factors except heredity affecting an organism starting from the moment of conception, sex, nutrition, gland and internal segregation, position in the family, maturation and learning. Physical defects and emotional factors are the specific factors affecting growth and development. Glossary: adolescent, transitional phase of growth and development between the childhood and adulthood. Cognition, terms referring to the mental process involved in gaining knowledge and comprehension. Development, the process of growing to maturity. Maturation, the process of being mature, the emergence of individual and behavioral characteristics through growth process over time. Nature, the genetic heritage passed down by our biological parents. Nurture, the surrounding or condition in which a person, animal or plant lives or operates. Puberty, the time in life when a boy or girl becomes sexually mature. Answer to check your progress, pure and applied psychology. Point number 2, growth refers to quantitative changes leading to the goals of maturity. Grow and grow define that growth refers to structural and psychological changes, while development refers to growth as well as the changes in behavior. Principles of predictability. According to this principle, growth and development is predictable. Rate of growth and development of the each child gives scope to predict the future development either physically and mentally or emotionally, socially. Age 3, those 6 are the early childhood years or preschooler years. Adolescent, the transition period between the childhood and adulthood, encompasses age 12 to 19. It is a time to tremendous change and discovery. During this year, physical and emotional intellectual growth occurs at the dizing speed, changing the teenager to adjust to a new body, social identity, and expanding the world view. Gerontology. Woodworth defines heredity covers all the factors that are parent in the individual when they begins life, not at birth but at the time of conception, about 9 months before birth. Environment is the process by which characteristics of an individual are determined by his or her surrounding and circumstances. Heredity and environment differentiated. Heredity, innate inborn, genetic constitution, body constitution, and physical traits. Environment acquired, environment constitution, mental constitution, and psychological traits. There are 5 dimensions of human development. There are physical development, cognitive development, emotional development, and social development. Suggest reading Agarwal J 2007, Essential of Educational Psychology, Delhi Vikas Publication Houses Pramit Limited. Chakyu SP 1994, Educational Psychology, Agra, Lakshmi Narayan Agarwal, Crow and Crow, 1993, Educational Psychology, Educational Eurasian Publication House, .nk, 1974, Psychological Foundation of Education, Delhi, Duba Houses. Thank you, learners. Here, block 1 completed.